Be on your own timing. One of the biggest struggles of my life. One of the biggest things that I face. Have you faced it? Do you face this thing where it's like you kind of compare yourself with others and like you compare yourself to their timing? What I wrote here is be on your own timing. And I put in quotation marks. Oh, but it rarely ever happens if people had that by your age, which is when you're aiming, as big as me, which is something you hear a lot. And I then put in response to that, I put, yeah, but there's a big few that do. People have done it, so those are what I'm trying to be like. My point being here is be on your own timing, which I've actually figured out recently and have come to terms with and feel a lot better and more motivated, optimistic, and ready to kind of go and put the work in now that I've kind of just accepted I'm on my own timing. I'm just trying to, reach success by an age now, by like any age, as opposed to trying to reach it in the next year or two, which I would like, which I would really, really like to do, and I hope to do. But like, kind of it being like the be all and end all, and the kind of factor of my happiness. Because for so long, one of the biggest trials and tribulations that I faced was being on everyone else's timing. Because at 14 was when I kind of woke up to like I became like awakened to like the world's processes and its systems and just life as a whole and what it actually is and how it's set up for us to be and stuff like that. And so I'm just gonna go sit down real quick. Oh shit, I almost fell over. But like I say, it was at like 14 that I kind of became awake to the world's systems, and started thinking about like my future and thinking what I want to do and realizing and hearing all the grown-ups say like, oh man, I just can't wait for the weekend. I'm just waiting on the weekend. And I was always someone who loved my own peace and being able to do what I wanted to do with my time. Like when I was a young kid, I always hated school. Not all through my life I hated school, not just when I was a young kid, but like I say, it was from being young that I hated school. I didn't want to get up and go to school and spend most of my hours of my day at school just because someone told me I had to. I just wanted to, go over to my homeboys that lived in the same road and we could go kick it and play Legos or play on our 3DSs or play whatever, play the Wii, whatever, just anything. Even if he wasn't there, I wanted to just play that on my own. I just really didn't want to be somewhere because someone told me I had to be with no explanation. They said you just have to be. And it kind of made me think. Um, Actually, I just lost my train of thought. Hold on. Oh yeah, be on your own timing. So, like I say, because I always liked my own peace and my own time and getting to spend it how I wanted to, I kind of realized by then I was hearing like a lot of grown-ups just say like, "Oh, I just can't wait for the weekend." Um, or saying like, "Oh, do you want to go out?" Like hearing my mom make plans with her friends and be like, "Oh, you want to go out this weekend?" Or just do that. You want to go do this at this time, and oh, you want to go away to this place at this time, and they be like, "Oh no, I can't. I have work." Or being like, "Oh, like I said, I'm waiting for the weekend," and I'm like, "You waiting for 2 days out of the 7 a week? You're hating 5 days because the calendar. I mean, I guess the calendar is technically made up. Like it's our system. Like days is just days and they go by, but let's stick to it for this. It's like you're waiting 5 days. You want to get 5 days over with just so you can wait on two and enjoy two of them. And I kind of became uh like awake to this at like 14. That was on my kind of awakening to it. And I was like, bro, I got to be successful. I got to do my own thing. Because by 14, I was heavily invested in XXX Tentacion, who obviously spoke, a lot about life and your own destiny and making your own path and becoming just the best you and living your life. So that combined with like awakening to just how it goes for most, I was just like, bro, I got to do something. I got to figure something out. And like I say, that was 14. I'm 20 now, 6 years later. I'm only just starting my own thing. But I always felt like and because like I say I was because I've done a lot of the internal work, right? So I've mastered myself inside. I've mastered the mind, the soul, the heart. I've evolved to a point that most people don't ever reach in their life. And I can say that confidently. I can say that confidently, not as like an asshole or like an egotistical filled person. I'm not saying that to boast or anything. I'm saying that because I've spent so many years alone in my head and done this work to where I can say where I've reached. I'm proud of where I've reached. Um, my point being, so it's been 6 years, and I didn't really start anything because I was figuring out life first. I was figuring out life first. I was figuring out myself and where I wanted to go, and just kind of what was in store for me, and figuring out who I was, and you know what I was going to make, what my contribution to the world was going to be, and things like that. Just everything I was figuring out, everything except actually just starting something, and actually starting like physically building something, which as you can see I'm doing right now. So because of that, because it's been 6 years of me being, like, super awake to the world and its processes and its systems, and what the fuck? There's a guy walking over there. I hope he don't look behind him. He gonna see me in a field and thinking like, "What the fuck is this guy doing recording himself?" That's right, move on, folk. Yeah, right, move on. Hold on, y'all. Just stay with me like 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Don't look back. Don't look back. Please don't look back. Yo, you look back. Shit, he's looking back. Anyway, keep on moving, play. Like I said, because it's been so many years since I've been kind of like awake to the processes of life and the systems and how it's kind of set up for us, how it's kind of set up for us, and how it's meant to go, and how you're supposed to just become like another rat in the race. Um, I really started thinking about future and thinking about things I wanted to do and contributions. And I thought, I was like, I originally just wanted to be like X and be as close to like a double of him as possible because, like I say, he changed my life. That was someone who I loved like dearly, bro. He really changed my life. And like I say, I would not be here if it wasn't for him. All praise to him. But because I was so awake and thinking so ahead of how most people think at 14, and being here at 20 and still being broke is a joke. I have not built anything for myself externally. However, I have built internally something that most people never build in their life that I'm so proud and happy of. Like if I had to go and do my journey again, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd do it the exact same way. Because like I say, I'm happy with who I am. I'm happy with where I'm at, etc. I've built inside what most people don't. So, oh shit, spider. Fuck out of here, man. Anyway, like I say, because of this, because I was so awake at 14, and I'm now 20 here, broke as a joke, when there's like 16, well, even like 15 to 19-year olds making like 6 figures a year, 7 figures a year, and they have like, supercars and all shit, and they're just living good. And I don't even have a car, and I'm 20, but because I'm so evolved and so ahead in mindset of like all these people and emotional maturity and just outlook and being grounded and just all these things that they tell you need to become in life that I've reached and I've mastered like inside, it's like I almost felt for a long time I felt cheated. I felt kind of like outplayed as if I not it sounds horrible. Like I'm not an asshole, I promise, but for a long time, and I've overcome it now. I don't feel that way at all now, but I felt like entitled as if I was like, hold on, but I got told if I like kind of, do the spiritual journey and you get everything right and you do the manifests and you master your inside and become everything that you need to be. I was told that everything would kind of just fall into place and fall into your lap. And that, you would just have it. And so being told that, being so awake since 14 and thinking way ahead and being more observant and just actually thinking through things and mastering the inside and all the qualities that the philosophers tell you need to, reach your best life, doing all of that and being operating at such that high level, but still not like none of it kind of reflecting externally what you, what your successful idea of life is. It's like I felt so kind of cheated in a way. And like I say, I know nothing's owed to me. I know everything's entirely on me, and that's cool. I don't fault it at all, like I say. But for a long time, which I've overcome recently, I just struggled with being on my own time and comparing myself to others, being like, well, hold on, but you know, I'm I'm probably more evolved than they are. I'm probably better in mindset than they are and stuff like this and just outlook on life and all these things, but they have the supercars and they have the life that I want to live. And yet I'm still here, like just starting something with, without a car or anything. I was about to say like with nothing, just out of instinct, but it's not with nothing. Like, bro, I live a very, very good life. very minimal for what the societal standard of someone my age lives. But again, because I practice gratitude so much, it's like, bro, I have a roof over my head, I have nice family, I have clothes, I have food and water. It's like, bro, how much can you need? Um, but what was my point? What was my point? Stay with me, stay with me. It's like I say, I would struggle and compare myself to the others for so long and be like, oh shit, bro, I gotta like, they've been doing this for years and they're my age and they have all these cars. In the next year, because we're like our ages are kind of matching. In the next year, I gotta then fuck off, fly, get the fuck out of here, ugly motherfucker. I don't even get the hell out of here. I was like, oh, in the next year, I gotta just boss up and just catch up to them or overtake them because, like I say, I feel like it's owed to me because I did all this work that everyone said that I had to do, that the people I was following told me I had to do, and that then like the good things would just come to me, and yet nothing has changed externally for so long. Like I say, internally though, it's like I'm galaxies ahead of where I used to be. But that's the kind of message of this video. Be on your own timing, and I know that it can be the easiest thing in the world to just instinctively compare your timing to someone else and be like, "Oh, well, bro, they're doing this by this age and they're my age and they have all this." And it feels terrible, bro. And it's like kind of paralyzing because I know how it is. It was something I struggled with all my life, even since 14. 'Cause like I say, when I was 14, it was in the whole SoundCloud era, bro. Like just post SoundCloud era. It was like 2019 when I was 14, so just past it. Which obviously you now had all these SoundCloud rappers that had like insane runs and were huge over like 2017, 2018. And it was like they all made it at like 16, 17, 18. So I was like, shit, bro, I gotta make it by then. Like this is just the normal. Which brings me on to my next point, which is like everyone always says, like, oh, but because like I say, I'm 20 now, and I feel like I'm years behind because I don't have a supercar and I'm not pulling in 6, 7 figures a year because I know my potential and I know I could be, and I know I could have been doing if I'd have just played my cards right, but I did the internal works instead. And so it's so many people tell me, oh, but not many people own a Lambo in their life. And I use Lambo because it's really annoying that the Lambo, especially the Huracan, became like the kind of annoying guru influencer course seller starter car because Lambos and like I say, Huracans have always been like some of my favorite cars ever, even before the whole guru kind of world took over. So it's kind of annoying that their reputation got destroyed. But it's like I have people telling me like, "Oh, um, most people don't own a Lambo in their life, and especially most people at like 20 don't have a Lambo by now being self-made." And it's kind of like, yeah, I understand it, but at the same time, I'm not trying to be most people. I'm trying to be, there's people that have done it, and I'm trying to be in with them because that's the realm of thinking that I'm on, and that's the kind of group that I'm aiming for. That's the kind of hustle that we kind of the bubble that we share. Um, and it can kind of get unhealthy because, like I say, it's like it gets paralyzing when you're comparing yourself to others and the timing and feeling like you just have to do so much over this next year to catch up to them and be on level. It's like, bro, these people have been doing, they've had years in the game. Just do you. Like I say, recently, I kind of lifted that barrier where I've stopped kind of saying like, okay, as much as I would like to still do it, and I hope I still do it, it's like I've kind of lifted this barrier saying by being like, oh bro, by 21 you need to have like caught up, by 22 you need to have like these millions and do all this, which like I say, I still want to get and I would still like to do, but I don't hold it on myself as if that's the be all and end all between failure and success. And it actually made me feel more motivated and just happy and inclined to go out and work and do something and grind as opposed to just kind of being paralyzed by the being in awe at how much catching up I'm gonna have to do over the next year to get back on level with these people. So it's like be on your own timing, um, and just it doesn't. Everyone's story is different. No one person has had the same upbringing and the same kind of exact story and the same every night in the house and the same, you know, Tuesday, June 29th at 5 p.m. Everyone was doing something different. I just made that date up off my head just because we were probably all doing something different right then, like at that time. So no one kind of has the same story, and it just yeah, be on your own timing. The best thing you can do for yourself is just stop trying to be like, okay, holy shit, I have so much catching up to do in this next year, and wearing it like a harness or a straitjacket, because it really does paralyze you. The best thing you can do is just say, okay, I'm just gonna work at whatever the fuck I need to do. Stop looking at the end goal. I'm just gonna create this thing and just grind the fuck out of this thing, and we'll just see when it happens. You know, the date when it happens is when it happens. And I know it kind of contrasts with, like I said, what I said about um, the point of me being like, I know a lot of people tell me that not many people in life reach what I'm trying to reach, and especially not at my age. And I still stand on the fact that it's like, no, I understand that, and I'm on my own timing, but I'm not trying to be like everyone else. Like I was never like everyone else, you know. I was never really the included friend. I was always the different one that people kind of give a side eye to. I remember 2022, I think we were on a beach. We were on the beach with some of my friends, and like I said, this wasn't my usual group. I didn't really have like a usual group. But you know, a couple of my close friends were out with this group, so I went with them. And I remember after, you know, I was just fucking around with like we had a fire going, and I was fucking around with like this wooden plank. I was lighting the end of it on fire because, bro, fire fascinates me. I'm like a kid when it comes to that shit. I just love fire. And I was just playing with this stick on fire, and one of my homeboys, my close homeboys, he came to me after and he said, these, these two were kept coming to me and saying like, "Why is he like that?" And he was like, "What?" And they were like, why is Niz like that? That's not my real name, Niz, but that's just what I go by on here. My real name, Joe. But they were like, "Oh, why is Joe like that?" And he was like, "What? He wasn't doing anything." And they were like, "Oh, he just seems silly, like kind of like weird." And he was just like, "No, that's just him. That's just him. He's unapologetically him. It's just him being him, and I like him for it." So he stuck up. He stuck up for me, and I really appreciated that. But like I say, I'm just giving you examples and telling you that I was always kind of the different one. I was never really the one to be in line and follow the normal and just be like everyone else and follow the crowd. So when people say to me like, "Oh, not many people reach what you're trying to reach," or especially not by your age, not many people have done that, and it's like, bro, but I don't care. People have done that. So I guess this doesn't really contrast with what I'm saying when I see beyond your own timing because I'm still on my own timing, you know what I mean? I'm still on my own time and it happens for me when it happens. But I'm just not trying to follow the generic lifestyle. Actually, that works. That works actually. I'm just not trying to follow society's timing and telling me that I have to wait until I'm, success waits until your late 40s or 50s or something. Be on your own timing. So don't compare your timing to others, but then also you don't have to be on the same timing as society tells you to be. You be on your own timing. You're on your own paradigm, your own plane. So be on your own timing in a way that don't be saying to yourself, oh, but these guys have this by this. And I know it works for some people. If it works for you, then I guess it works for you. But it can get hard being like, these people, they're my age and they have all this. I've got to catch up. Or this guy's 1 or 2 years older than me. I got to have this by then to feel like I'm, doing well. It's like, bro, just be on your own time and just get your grind. Find it in you to just think, right, look, this is a purpose bigger than me. Life is bigger than me. I'm going to let life take the wheel and the success in the car and whatever will come when it comes. I'm just going to grind the fuck out of what I do and then it'll come way quicker. So be on your own timing in that way. But also be on your own timing in the way that, you don't have to wait until your late 40s or 50s for success to happen. The barrier of entry is whenever you do your thing. So, like I say, when people say to me, "Oh, but not many people have reached or done what you're trying to do, especially not by your age," it's like, yeah, but I don't care. It's people that have done it, and that's the people that I'm trying to be in conversation with. That's the people in the rooms that I'm trying to be in. That's the people that I'm trying to be like. I'm not just trying to be no normie, just average, follow society's life plan. Like, I don't need you to tell me, "Oh, it's okay, not many people reach it by your age." Help me. Say, "Okay, look, let's formulate a plan. Let's get this shit on with because I don't care if not many people do what I want to do by my age. Some people have. A lot of people have, if you, not in relativity to the population and what's normal, but if you just kind of put the numbers on paper or draw them as lines. You will see a lot of lines or a lot of people have done what I want to do. Um, so be on your own timing, and I don't care that people tell me, like I say, don't feel bad because not many people have done it. I don't care. I'm on a higher plane of thinking. I don't think like you're just average person trying to just follow society and go through life. I'm not thinking like that. I'm not trying to be on that table. So don't tell me to kind of compare myself and run my stats alongside that table. You know what I mean? So be on your own timing. Be on your own timing in a way of, okay, it doesn't matter. I know in the old world, before the internet and stuff, because of resources and how you had to build up the corporate ladder or just do whatever and set things up and gather funding. Because in the old world, it was like, most people achieve success in like late 40s and 50s. Be on your own timing. It doesn't have to be that way anyway. You can achieve success in your teens now, in your 20s, 30s, whatever age, even if you're 80. Like I say, even if it's later than what we used to think, whatever age, especially with the internet now, you can achieve the success that you want. So be on your own timing, do it on your own timing, but don't compare your timing to others as well, because it can really just paralyze you and put you in a bad state. What are we on right now? 21 minutes. I might have just kind of said the same thing over and over in this video, but I feel really strongly about this. This is like a big topic to me. I feel really strongly about it. Anyway, I need to kind of watch out. Otherwise, I'm actually going to end up running out of charge before I finish all the videos today. So with that being said, I'll see you guys later. If you want to check out my music, check my pinned comments, music supervisors, sync agents, go check it out. Especially viewers, if you want to check it out, it's in the pinned comments. You can help me by buying my albums for $1 if you want. They're on a music site. You can pay more if you want just to help me out. That'll be in the pinned comments. Subscribe if you like me. You want to come chill me a couple times a week, see what I'm up to. Subscribe. It's completely free. You don't have to commit to it. You can unsubscribe if you want. With that being said, I got some more videos to do, and I'll see you guys when I see you. Bye.